ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 19, verse 22. त्रिभिक्रमैर् असन्तुष्टो द्वीपेनापि न पूर्यते नववर्षसमेतेन सप्तद्वीपावरेच्छया। Hmm. The Vamandev is saying, if I were not satisfied with three paces of land, then surely I would not be satisfied even with possessing one of the seven islands consisting of 9 varshas. Even if I possessed one island, I would hope to get others. So, like we all know, so there are seven dvipas, and then each dvipa has 9 varshas. So, Vamandev here is saying that even if I possess one of the seven dvipas, and we are in Jambu Dvipa, hmm, Jambu Dvipe, Bharatavarshे, Bharatakande, Godavaryaha Dakshine Thire. That is our GPS location. Uh, so, so he's saying even if I possessed one island, I would hope to get others. So this is the greed of conditioned souls. We just not satisfied with whatever we have. We always want more materially. But actually, the same greed we require for Krishna, spiritual life. We need to have greed. So, material life, we need to be satisfied. Spiritual life, we should never be satisfied. This is the secret of making progress. Mm. So, Vamandev is saying, okay, I'm not going to be satisfied. I will want more and more. सप्तद्वीपाधिपतयो नृपावैण्य गयादयः अर्थैः कामैर्गता नान्तं तृष्णाया इति नः श्रुतम्. We have heard that all the powerful kings like Maharaja Prithu and Maharaja Gaya achieved proprietorship over the seven dvipas. They could not achieve satisfaction or find the end of their ambitions. Mm. Okay. They also included Maharaja Prithu here. We went on doing those sacrifices which were not required. So, Gaya not described in Bhagavatam, but looks like they could not achieve satisfaction or find the end of their ambitions. So, Vamadev is saying, then it's true. यदृच्छयोपपन्नेन सन्तुष्टो वर्तते सुखम् नासन्तुष्टस्त्रिभिर्लोकैरजितात्मोपसादिते सादितैः. One should be satisfied with whatever he achieves by his previous destiny, for discontent can never bring happiness. A person who is not self controlled will not be happy, even with possessing the three worlds. If at all people in this material world can accept this one statement from Bhagavatam, their lives will change. So one should be satisfied with whatever he achieves by his previous destiny. But again, even devotees, they are not satisfied. We are not satisfied with our material life. Mm. Material life gives us something and then we want something else. Mm. 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 So, like yesterday, I was talking to a devotee and And devotee was saying that, yeah, I had certain expectations in life, and then so I was not getting those expectations, so I was not happy. Then the devotee said, no, now I've accepted everything as Krishna's will. So I'm not dissatisfied with anything. So it's very, very important that we actually come to this stage of realization. Otherwise, we will always keep fighting our own situations, asking for more, desiring for more, and we will never be satisfied. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, Ashantasya kutasukam. One who is Ashanta, not peaceful, how is he going to get happiness? And one who is satisfied will remain peaceful. Santushta, yena kenachit. We should be happy with, satisfied with whatever Krishna gives. The 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna is describing the qualities of a devotee, so then he says that one of the things that a devotee, one of the qualities is that he lives without care. I've told this many times. Meaning he just doesn't care about his material situation. A pure devotee doesn't care about his material situation. It's such a tall order. It's so difficult to get there. Hmm. But that is required. Otherwise, we will always be on the material platform. If you are on the material platform, when will we come to Brahma Bhuta? When will we come to the transcendental platform? Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Na sochati na kangshati. Only when we come to the stage of na sochati na kangshati can we be Prasannatma. And that no sachati, no kangshati will not come if we are thinking I am the body, I need to protect my things, I need to gain more things. Where are we going to be satisfied? How are we going to be peaceful? How are we going to be happy? So, not possible. But if happiness is the ultimate goal of life, one must be satisfied with the position in which he is placed by providence. So, we should add this topic in Path to Happiness. If happiness is the ultimate goal of life, one must be satisfied with the position in which he is placed by providence. And again, for devotees, they are placed into situation by the sweet will of Krishna. It's Prabhupada says sweet will. It's not just will of Krishna, it is his sweet will, which means sometimes things might be difficult for us to accept, or we can't understand why certain things are happening the way they are happening. But we should understand Krishna knows, Krishna is in control. And it's his sweet will that he desires the best for his devotees. Name Bhakta Pranashyati. For normal jivas, it is karma, their karma phala. But for devotees, it is the sweet will of Krishna. And we should be satisfied with whatever it is given. His instruction is also given by Prahlad Maharaj. Sukham maitain aindriyakam daitya. So Prahlad Maharaj here is saying that what is the real sukha? He's saying real sukha is aindriyakam. Uh, or daityas have aindriyakam. Then there is one more sukham atyantikam in Bhagavad Gita. Sukham aindriyakam daitya means daityas are trying to get happiness from indriya. My dear friends, born of demoniac families, the happiness perceived with reference to the sense objects by contact with the body can be obtained in any form of life according to one's past fruitive activities. Such happiness is automatically obtained without endeavor. Happiness on the material platform is achieved without endeavor, just as we obtain distress. Bhagavatam, 7th canto. Yatha dukkham ayatnatah sarvatra labhyate. Sukham aindriyakam sarvatra labhyate. It is available everywhere. And daivad, by destiny, daivad yatha dukkham ayatnatah. Don't have to do yatna. Don't have to try. It will come. Just like distress comes, happiness will also come. And it will go when it has to go. Hmm. Real happiness is described in Bhagavad Gita. Sukham atyantikam yattad buddhigrahyam atindriyam veti yatra na chaivayam sthitas chalati tatvatah. Sukham atyantikam atindriyam. This is spiritual sukha. In the spiritual joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness and enjoys himself through transcendental senses. Now, again, he enjoys in the sense he experiences happiness. This trying to enjoy is a mundane concept of trying to extract happiness out of this material world, but spiritual happiness comes by itself without our endeavor. But we experience them through transcendental senses, not through material senses. So, till we have material senses, we can't experience the bliss of Krishna consciousness. To some extent, we will, to the extent that their senses are purified. To that extent, we will experience spiritual bliss. So, for devotees who are new to Krishna consciousness, whose senses are still material, what do? We overfeed them with prasadam, isn't it? Because they need something for their senses, and everything else is cut off. So the only option is prasadam, food. But then, as we make progress in Krishna consciousness, we should experience a higher taste. Now, can somebody tell me what is a higher taste with respect to prasadam? Don't tell me restaurant. What is a higher taste with respect to prasadam? What does it mean to experience a higher taste with prasadam? Any thoughts? So I said that in the initial stages, we feed overfeed devotees with prasadam so that they can be satisfied with it and not go here and there looking for some more gratification of their senses. Now, as we make progress, how do we experience transcendence in prasadam? Or what should we do? In Mayapur, what it seems that it mix all the Bogat that we make, but still we eat it and we should feel it. We don't feel the taste of prasadam. Sweet with kara hits. No, no, no. Why we should not? I mean, if Krishna has tasted sweet, why should we not taste sweet? Why should we not? What is the problem? Yes, Prabhu. What also? So, see, the transcendental happiness in prasadam is knowing that every morsel is tasted by Krishna and is his mercy. That is transcendental happiness on the platform of prasadam, right? And like Prabhu is saying, Madhavendra Puri did not even want traditional prasadam, right? He was happy with just the pot, which is like, would you eat dirt as prasadam? Yeah, because Krishna has touched it. So we should understand that the touch is the nectar, is the mercy, is transcendence. That is transcendental happiness. But devotees keep saying, oh, this is salt, this is khara, this is that, this is sweet. And then we should be satisfied with whatever comes our way in the form of prasadam. Yesterday also I was saying, right? A lot of prasadam being served. Don't call. Can I get that, please? Can I get this item? Hmm. Why you have to get that item? Because you want to sense gratify yourself. So depend on Krishna. If Krishna wants to send, he will send. Otherwise, just be satisfied that you got the mercy of honoring prasadam. Anyway, but we don't speak about this for new devotees. For new devotees, we just say like we will spoil them on prasadam, right? But as we make progress in devotion, we should understand, saying that Krishna consciousness is not about eating a lot of prasadam. It's about getting the mercy. That's why we say it's about honoring prasadam, right? We should honor prasadam. The spiritual joyous state. Again, please see this, such a beautiful translation. The spiritual joyous state. It's a spiritual state and it is full of joy. And one is situated in boundless, boundless transcendental happiness, meaning there is no, there is no boundary. Mm. Like Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Anandambudi Vardhanam. Ananda Ambudi Vardhanam, meaning the ocean of happiness keeps on increasing. So there's no restriction, there's no binding, there's no bounds. And he enjoys himself through transcendental senses. So it's a matter of purifying our senses. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam. Paratvena nirmalam. Nirmalam. It has to become pure. The senses have to become pure. Then Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uttama. Then it is Uttama Bhakti. When we use our senses to then satisfy Krishna, that is Uttama Bhakti. Mm. So it's a constant endeavor. So yesterday I was doing something on mode of goodness, right? So mode of goodness, very beautiful quality. One of the qualities of a person in mode of goodness is that all the nine gates of his body are illuminated by knowledge. You don't answer. Now, who knows what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of all the nine gates being illuminated by knowledge? What does it mean? Is there some light? Here also there is one light, here there is one light. There is light. Is there light coming from the nine gates? What is the meaning of nine gates, all the gates being illuminated by knowledge? And this is Sattva Guna. This is Sattva Guna. So it means that every sense, every individual sense acts on the platform of knowledge. Meaning, if the eyes have to see something, it will only see things that are to be seen. If the tongue has to taste something, it will only taste things that should be tasted. Because it's on the platform of knowledge. So it will discriminate. No, this is not good. This is good. So there is discrimination between right and wrong. And this is state of sattva. And transcendence means whatever it is, everything has to be connected with Krishna. Okay. So first, at least we should come out of tamoguna and rajoguna. I keep saying morning mangalarti is to bring us to sattva guna. But sometimes people think that too much slow mangalarti brings us to tamoguna. Isn't it? That's why you want bam, 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 bam. You want a lot of noise because we'll be in tamoguna, then we will wake up by that rajoguna. And then again, when the rajoguna stops, then we again go back into tamoguna. But the idea is actually raised to sattva guna. For many years, actually, I was wondering, saying, what is all these gunas? I mean, everywhere Prabhupada in the purports is just translating, saying that, transcendental, transcendental, transcendental. So what is this sattva? So it's a pit stop. It's like a temporary stop for us. We have to go there and then transcend. Of course, if somebody is engaged 24 hours in just pure devotional service, he will transcend. He will skip sattva guna. But that might not be possible, especially for those devotees who are grastas, who are in connection with the material world, having material duties, responsibilities, etc. They should mold their life. Prabhupada says one should mold their life in such a way that they can actually live at least in the mode of goodness. So we discussed this also before. So reduce rajoguna in life. Try to reduce rajoguna. And you will know what is rajoguna. Something which agitates you in terms of busy is rajoguna. If your life, you are like very agitated by, running around like headless chicken, then that is rajoguna. We have to then curtail. We have to then bring it down. Established thus, one never departs from the truth. One has to perceive happiness by the super senses. Prabhupada's. The super senses are not the senses of the material elements. Every one of us is a spiritual being and every one of us is an individual person. Our senses are now covered by material elements. So the senses that we have is not really our senses. They're covered by material elements, and because of ignorance, we consider the material senses that cover us to be our real senses. So we can understand that our real senses are covered by material senses. So the that sarvopadi vinirma tat paratvena nirmalam. So when we are purified, then that covering of that material elements or the material senses goes off, and then we uh, we engage the spiritual senses. We use the spiritual senses in devotional activities. Then we experience bliss. Then we experience bliss, real bliss. The real senses, however, are within the material covering. Denosmin yatha dehe, within the covering of the material elements are the spiritual senses. So Prabhupada is clearly explaining. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam. When the spiritual senses are uncovered, by these senses we can be happy. And this is atyantikam atindriyam. This is that atindriya. This is the transcendental sukham. Satisfaction of the spiritual senses is thus described Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchat. When the senses are engaged in devotional service to Rishikesha, then the senses are completely satisfied without this superior knowledge of sense without this superior knowledge of sense gratification. One may try to satisfy his material senses, but happiness will never be possible. So we are also engaged in sense gratification on the transcendental platform. But our sense gratification happens naturally, automatically. And the people on the material platform are trying hard to gratify their senses themselves. But devotional service is so amazing that simply by attempting to satisfy Krishna's senses, our senses will be satisfied. Which is why we say that, try to offer nice garlands to Krishna, then you will experience happiness. Because Krishna experiences happiness by those nice garlands. And then as soon as Krishna experiences happiness, then devotees experience happiness. We don't have to, if suppose say we do the same garland and we put it on around ourselves, we're not going to experience the same happiness, isn't it? Somebody may take a photo of you, that's all, right? And put it on your Instagram, but that's not like, you don't have any experience of real happiness. The real happiness is when we see the Lord wearing the garland, and then like all devotees, like there are like, bright smiles on all devotees' faces when they see that what Krishna is wearing, and they're like, wow. It means that Krishna was satisfied. And that happiness cannot be measured. It cannot be, yeah, cannot be compared. It's incomparable. That is a platform we have to get to. One may increase his ambition for sense gratification and even achieve what he desires for the gratification of his senses. But because this is on the material platform, he will never achieve satisfaction and contentment. Most importantly, people might argue saying that no, we also achieve some satisfaction, but they're not going to be content. In the morning, we were hearing a lecture. Prabhupada said, no, they just want one after the other, something or the other. They'll keep wanting. They're not satisfied. Temporarily, they're satisfied, but then they're not really satisfied. And again, they want something after some time. According to Brahminical culture, one should be content with whatever he obtains without special endeavor. And should cultivate spiritual consciousness. What is this special endeavor? And these are all sutras for grihasthas. What is endeavor? What is extra endeavor? Just work 6-7 hours. Extra endeavor is work 12 hours for our mentioning. Okay. How do you measure if we are over endeavoring? Yeah. So then we'll become whatever endeavor consciousness. When we become endeavor consciousness, meaning we are conscious about whatever we are doing or whatever we are trying to achieve, then we are over endeavoring. When we simply endeavor, not over endeavor, then our consciousness is not stolen by whatever we are trying to do. Consciousness remains in Krishna. But when we are over endeavoring, our consciousness is consumed by that endeavor. Mm. So Prabhupada is saying, according to Brahminical culture, one should be content with whatever he obtains, whatever he obtains. That's all. Then he will be happy. Arjun also understood. Uh, so, yeah, so what should devotees do who are working? They should anchor for more devotion. Don't worry about spirit, about work. Just put it aside. Whatever is going, let it go on auto mode. But desire, anchor for spiritual things, right? Like maybe it might be getting up in the morning for Mangalarti, attending Mangalarti, chanting in Brahma Muhurta, doing more devotional activities than what you're doing today. Uh, and desire to go on yatra with other devotees, part take part in Nagar Sankirtan, book distribution. These are all desires. And when we have these desires, then automatically to make time for them, material life will get taken care automatically. Don't have to endeavor for it separately. The purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement is to spread this understanding. Now we have to say the purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement is to spread this understanding within Krishna consciousness movement. Isn't it? Even within the Krishna consciousness movement, this understanding is not there. What will be spread to outside people? First, we have to understand, saying that I should not be bothered too much about my material life. But so many devotees tell, Prabhu, no, we should balance material and spiritual life. Like, why should we balance? What is the reason we should balance? Who are we to balance? How much power do we have to balance? Why should we balance material and spiritual life? Who said that we have to balance material and spiritual life? Hmm. We have to prioritize spiritual life. This is, if we are serious about devotion, then we have to prioritize spiritual life. And then material life will get whatever limit rest of the time available. It will get time. It's not like, see, one more thing we should always understand, saying that when we are representatives of Srila Prabhupada, it's not that we take up some work and do a shoddy job, right? Creating a bad name for Prabhupada. So we will do our work sincerely, but we will not get too sucked into it. Not getting too sucked into it. Mm. So what is the solution? Solution is to just desire for more. Just desire for more. Illogically desire for more. I want more time. I want more association. I want more hearing. I want more chanting. More. I'm greedy. Then things will fall in place. People who do not have scientific spiritual knowledge mistakenly think that the members of the Krishna conscious movement are escapists, trying to avoid material activities. In fact, however, we are engaged in real activities for obtaining the ultimate happiness in life. If one is not trained to satisfy the spiritual senses and continues in material sense gratification, he will never obtain happiness that is eternal and blissful. Srimad Bhagavatam, Rishabdeva, yeah, Tapo Divyam Putrakayena Sattvam, Shuddhyed Yasmad Brahma Saukyam Tvanantam. Brahma Saukyam. This is the happiness on the transcendental platform. So here it's saying one must practice austerity. So that his Tapo Divyam. Putraka Yena Sattvam. So that the existential position is be purified. Shuddhyet. Yasmat, by which one will achieve blissful, unlimited blissful life. Practice austerity. What austerity should be practiced now? What is this statement saying? One must practice austerity so that his existential position will be purified. So each of us have to think about what austerities I need to perform to purify my existence. Meaning, how do we do that? How do we do this? This is a practical point. Prabhupada is writing a practical point here. We should practice austerity so that our existential position will get purified. No, but how do you decide what you need to do? Assume saying you're waking up for Mangalarti. Then what will you do? See, it's a Vignana, it's a Vignana, point of Vignana, it's a point of practical application. How will you know what to do? Now, yeah, we can give standard answers like I'll go to Guru. No, these are small, small things, day-to-day stuff, right? We're not going to go to Guru for that. So how do we figure out? Is it clear? Is the question clear? How do we figure out what austerity to do to purify my current position? Huh? We have to introspect, okay? What is the meaning of introspection? On what basis will you introspect? On the basis of what? On the basis of what Srila Prabhupada has written. Not on the basis of what I think is right or wrong. On the basis of what Srila Prabhupada has written in his books, we need to introspect to see what aspects of my current life is not pure. Pure could mean two things. One is either it's already transcendental or at least it has to be in sattva. At least. So which means that you have to identify aspects of your life which are still in Rajoguna and Tamoguna. And then figure out what should I do to overcome that contamination. Any examples? I gave the concept, right? Concept is that we have to, so Rajoguna and Tamoguna are contaminating. So by introspection, we need to figure out what aspects of my life are in Rajoguna and Tamoguna, which means that either they have not come to Sattvaguna or that aspect of my life is not in Sattvaguna or it is not transcended, one of them, which means that it's there either in Rajoguna or Tamoguna. First I have to identify. Any example?
Night dinner, used to have a heavy dinner. I understood that having a light dinner early, like 6.
Okay. 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 So good point. So one is tamoguna increase tamoguna preventing me from getting up in the morning. That is my problem statement. And then with that problem statement, then I have to introspect saying that, okay, why am I oversleeping? So when we think about this, then there could be two reasons. One is my body is too tired, hence I am not able to get up, or I'm lazy. Only two things, right? If my body is too tired, then what do we do next? Figure out what aspect of my daily activities is tiring my body. And then figure out, okay, is there a solution for that or no solution, right? That is one. And if somebody is lazy, that laziness could be our nature or could be like what Mataji said, because of overeating late in the night. Makes it difficult to get up in the morning. So this is the practical process here that now then austerity is, okay, I'm going to eat little and early is an austerity because we are never used to doing that. We are used to eating late and eating too much. So it is an austerity. But that austerity will help us purify that existential position of not of oversleeping, for example. Now, one more problem for example, same situation for body is too tired, not because we did a lot of physical work, because we got stressed out in the day. So then we have to figure out saying that why am I getting stressed out? And then see if there are ways to overcome that stress. So like this, then we have to, and this is the constant introspection that devotee has to do to make progress. And when this happens, then he will achieve unlimited blissful life. But it takes a lot of effort. It's a day-to-day business. Every day we have to be contemplating, saying that, okay, maybe one situation, then, we are working on something. It's not that then we become satisfied, saying that, okay, enough. Uh, Next 3 months, I'm not going to take up any more austerity. One austerity is enough. No, not like that. If you overcome one, then try one more. Mm. Because we don't know how much time we have. So it's better we be thivra about our, intense about our devotion then, and you will find happiness. Actually, see, when we do something, anything for the pleasure of Guru, Krishna, Acharyas, we feel happy. We feel that, yes, okay, I'm doing something. I'm just not taking this devotional life granted. I'm making some effort. Sometimes most things in, many things in devotion could be very, very natural for us. Okay, all the natural things are good. We are fortunate, which basically means that we are coming from previous life of good devotional service, and now so many things in devotion are so natural, and we just very easily take up those things, which is fine. Our focus should not be on those things which we are able to follow. Our focus should be on those things which we are not able to follow, because that's the effort in this life. Whatever we are able to follow is possibly a result of our previous life endeavor. So it's very easy now. Like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? I mean, we get natural taste for some things. It's fine. But then the struggle starts, which is this life's endeavor to make progress in devotion, which will be these austerities, these, aspects which are our contaminating areas, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, which we have to purify. That purification happens by austerity, little austerity, in connection with that anartha. In connection with that anartha. Mhm. Okay. So I'll stop here if anybody has any questions. Okay. Any questions? Anybody? Okay. Good. No questions. No questions means either everything is understood or we didn't accept anything. Either way, it's okay. Isn't it? Okay. Okay. We'll close here. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। की जय। हरे कृष्ण।